Now, Storm Watch 12 weather with meteorologist Josh Culbreth.
Today's probably the most high impact forecast we've had in a couple weeks, as we have some very critical fire danger for today, and for a couple different reasons. First of all, we have this red flag warning that's in place for the east side, as we could have an abundance of lightning over critically dry fields, and in fact we've already seen that play out this midday. I'll have a closer look at the radar in a second. But then area number 2 for critical fire danger is the west side valleys. That's where we can have some very blustery winds, and also there's a very dry air mass in place, so any fires that do potentially ignite have the potential to spread very quickly. So please use a lot of fire vigilance as we move forward today. And you can tell why in the Shasta Valley, those winds gusting out of the south up to 50 miles per hour. It's not very often that you see wind gusts that ferocious during the summer months. So please take this very, very seriously everywhere, but especially down in the Shasta Valley. Air quality, not that big of a concern right now, at least outside of the extreme southwestern corner of Siskiyou County. It's pretty moderate in our west side valleys, but as we move forward in time into Wednesday and Thursday, our winds will shift out of the northwest, and I think a lot of this yellow is going to transition to the east side, and we'll get some green filling back in Curry, Josephine, and Jackson counties. All right, like I promised you, here's a closer look at all of the lightning that is transpiring right now in northern Lake County. This is pretty close to Silver Lake, Summer Lake, Fort Rock, Christmas Valley. And look at the amount of lightning that is coming down from just this one complex alone, 66 strikes. So if we get out of today without any wildfire starts over on the east side, that would be nothing short of a miracle. Let me show you what happens a little bit later in the day with Stormcast. And again, we're going to see more of these complexes of thunderstorms working over the same areas. So the good news is that we're going to get a lot of beneficial rainfall from all of this. The bad news is that we will definitely see a lot of lightning, just like what we're seeing right now in northern Lake County. Now, as the sun sets, a lot of these storms start to lose a little bit of their punch. And I think we're primarily going to be dry as we head into Wednesday. Now, there is a bit of a severe weather threat with all of this. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has outlined this level 1 out of level 5 risk for severe weather. So that is a marginal risk. In addition to all the lightning we could also see some hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and also some high wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. So for today, we'll have very dangerous fire conditions, like I've already mentioned, because of the gusty winds in Jackson and Siskiyou counties, especially Siskiyou County. And then also we'll have an increased fire risk over on the east side because of all the lightning that we've already seen thus far, and that we'll continue to see a little bit later in the day. And then overnight, I think we can all take a collective sigh of relief. Things will be pretty calm. We might have a few showers there along the coast, but as far as fire danger, that is definitely going to wind down in a big way. Here's your 3-day forecast for the Klamath Basin, your bike riding forecast, if you will. And we're going to see air quality start to reduce a little bit as those winds shift out of the northwest, so things could be a bit hazy, but we don't have smoke model information that goes out this far, so it's really anyone's guess as to how bad the air quality is going to get. And a lot of that also depends on the fires that could potentially start today. And with the storm system moving by, this is coming along with a cold front, so our temperatures are going to drop by about 10 degrees on Wednesday. Then those temperatures will stabilize into Thursday and Friday. Here's your 7-day forecast along the coast, seeing some hazier conditions today, but of course, with those winds shifting out of the northwest, a lot of that smoke is going to get pushed back into Siskiyou County and over to the east side. Speaking of Siskiyou County, critical fire danger for today, especially in the Shasta Valley, where those winds will gust up to 50 miles per hour. And then for the east side, of course, tracking a lot of lightning, especially in Lake County, but we're not ruling out some of that for Klamath County as well. And then for the mountains, I think probably most of it stay dry. We're not ruling out a thunderstorm, but those chances not looking as favorable as what we're looking at in the basin. And then for the Rogue Valley, also critical fire danger for the eastern Rogue Valley for today. Thankfully, we get a bit of a break heading into Wednesday.
And aside from what we're seeing today, it really looks like a relatively nice week for everyone up until later this weekend once we get through the hump of today.
Yes, today is definitely going to be the peak of fire danger. I'm not saying it's going to be the peak for all of fire season, but at least for this little stretch of weather, today's the day. Then after that, don't let your guard down.
Right.
But we're not going to have to be at 110. We can just go back to 100.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Josh.
Of course.